Montauk and Unchained Hearts. This is not going to have any pictures or anything. I just need to come up here because I had a very disturbing dream. I was in a place where I was flying, but then I was in a vehicle, and I saw many vehicles suspended in midair. Vehicles, trucks, and then I saw they were different kind of starships. That's how I can say black, like starships that were on top of buildings also suspended. They were like drones. And it started getting really dark, and there were 3 people with me. And I said, look, see, they have the technology to bring up the vehicles and suspend them in midair. This was in a desert area. Then somehow I end up in a home, but I was underground. It was in the basement, and a man with a black and white suit, black hair, he was white, showed me a drawer. He said, stare at this drawer. And I'm like, okay, here we go. So I stared at the drawer. He opened it, and it was soldiers in green uniform. And he said, does this look familiar? And I said, yes. Then there was drawings. The drawings were of Nostradamus and soldiers. And then he looks at me. There's a female with blonde, white hair. She looked like, excuse me, salud. She looked like Marin, I forget her first name. Another super soldier that talks online. I've never talked to her, but it looked like her. And she was trying to take the paperwork from me, and I go, hey, I'm still looking at it. And I said, I need to know where I am in this picture. She stole the paperwork. And I told the man, I said, she took the paperwork. I said, where am I? I need to know where am I in this whole, in the picture. And then he looked at me and he said, you're my cousin. I said, okay. Then we were looking at a screen, and he said that his father did something to him. So in the screen, in the movie, it showed that he pretty much gutted his own father with his hands, with his hands turned into knives. And he said, I'm Dracula, and you're my cousin, he told me. You're one of the soldiers that resuscitated. Those were his words. You were one of the soldiers that resuscitated, and you're most likely the one that has to take me out at the end. And I'm like, what? And then his son came in. He has a little boy and a little girl. And there was these very ugly beings. They were kind of like Igor, but he had a long neck, and he had a face of it was a skeleton, but it was like rotting, and it was a skeleton between a human and a dog. And then he lands on his neck, I'll just call him the long neck, okay? Because he was walking really creepy, like if he was some kind of spider or some kind of Igor. And he puts his head to Dracula's knees. and he pets him. And I'm like, I was just grossed out. And there were other beings in the room that were protecting him and his children. And then we have to leave the room. I'm slipping because the room is shifting. And one of those ugly beings helped me up to the door. And then we go to the kitchen, and there's a lady that's cooking for Dracula and for us. And I have to help him, help the lady pick up the huge pots of food. And he likes to eat greens. And when I saw the green thing, it was huge avocados, and I don't know what the heck else he was eating. But this was supposed to be for like this big feast that we were going to eat. And then there was a dance. And this is really disgusting, okay? This is not for kids. Okay, it's highly triggering. It's just gross. And then there was a dance, and people were having sex. Some of the people were having sex. Some of the people were just dancing, feeling up on each other or whatever. And whenever they would have an orgasm, there was an old male and an old lady who would collect we'll just say the liquid of the aftermath of whatever they were doing. And then they would put it in this machine and then mix it up, and then it would be like a sorbet that they would put into the food, mostly desserts, and then feed the crowd. So it was really disgusting. And I kept thinking, okay, I gotta kill him. He's my cousin. I kept thinking, well, how is he my cousin? I know my dad's side comes from the Corsica island. Both my father and my mother are Italian. And they have Italian blood. And other bloodlines. But it's just very disturbing. Then there was a shooting. At the end of my dream, I had a weapon. It was a very long weapon. And there was just a bunch of men in black that came in. Black, long vehicles, like limousines and things like that. And then I was on a boat with another female. And we were shooting at these beings. And then I wake up thinking, what the heck is going on? Thanks for listening, guys. Love you.